Hey everyone, this is Katarina with the Holistic Chamber of Commerce of the Bluffton Hilton Head area. And this is one of our educational moments. And tonight we have Amanda Brown with Ochsner 65. I get that right?
Plus.
Plus,
Ochsner Novant Health 65 plus.
plus. Okay, I forgot the plus part. And Amanda is the person who's in charge of coordinating members and other people in the community to do presentations in their community room. And we're going to go through the guidelines tonight to see how our members can possibly use this opportunity to let people know more about what they do in the community. So Amanda, thank you first of all for being here with us.
Yes, thank you.
Can you tell us like your title and what you do there? I don't think I did it justice.
Yes, I'm the community relations specialist at Ochsner 65 plus. I do a lot of outreach. I coordinate the event space, our community room by scheduling, different events, presentations and such. Um, and a lot of other stuff that's really boring. So that's really the gist of my job is to to utilize our community room to benefit the community and to offer different unique events that will bring in new people.
Thank you. I don't think it's boring at all. But anyways, I'm going to share my screen next, which are the guidelines that Ochsner 65 Plus puts out to the community to let them know about the availability of this room. And we're just going to go through it. So here we go. Hopefully you'll see my screen that says
Yes.
outside party use guidelines. Okay. So Karen, do you want to start going through this or would you like me to?
I mean, either way, we could let's tackle the purpose first and go
Yeah,
right on straight down.
go ahead, Amanda. Tell us what the purpose of
So
it is. Yeah.
yeah, so vendor use of community room is designated for educational presentations that enhance patient knowledge and health literacy. Presentations must be relevant to patient care, health promotion, disease prevention, and educational topics, enhancing social well-being and combating social isolation. Um, Community groups, example, Holistic Chamber of Commerce, guidelines, this is what that's for. And I'll elaborate on that a little bit too. So we do have educational presentations in the community room. It's really designed to be a space that attracts new patients, that brings people in, that creates a fun environment. We we try to stay away from strict, just presentations, if that makes sense, and have some type of involvement, some type of attraction that brings people in, whether it's an ice cream social, and then you get to present, yourself and explain who you are and, what you do, things of that nature. Even bingo, you have an opportunity to get in front of our patients. And the biggest attendants are usually the ones that are interactive. We have a crafty creations class that I host monthly that's available to sponsor. That usually has a really good turnout of people. If it's a strict presentation, I'll be honest, those typically don't have a large attendance.
Okay. So you want to add some interaction, not just presentation.
Correct.
I'm hearing something that draws the patient to want to be a part of it more so than just receive information.
Correct.
Okay. Otherwise, the draw or the attendance is not as good.
It's not. We've had lower attendance this year because we had stopped our mailing. We just restarted that. So in August will be the first mailer that goes out. So anything from August through the end of the year will be promoted through our mailers, which we mail about 5,000 of those out in a 10-mile radius of our clinic.
Wow. Okay. And
Nice.
go ahead, Karen. Did someone want to say something? Okay.
No, I was saying that's nice. I was thinking that you were emailing people or posting on the Facebook group and our page, and I didn't realize you were sending actual mailer cards out. So that's
Yeah.
very nice to
So
hear.
everybody that's on our mailing list does receive an email each month of all the events that we post. We
Mhm.
also utilize our Facebook group to advertise. Um, since we stopped doing the mailers in January, we've noticed a big decrease of attendance. So we're hoping that now starting this up again in August will help to attract more people to the community events that we offer.
Got it. And can you give us an idea of what a typical attendance might look like?
For a straight presentation, maybe 2 people.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
And interactive?
Probably between 10 to 15.
Wow, that is a big numbers difference. Okay.
When I did my sourdough class, we had a maximum of 12 for my class, and 17 people actually signed up. But the interesting thing is 5 of them were no-shows, so I ended up with my max anyhow.
That works out really good.
Yes, but I mean, that was a good, at least,
Yep.
attract, it was really inviting for people to be able to want to be a part of it. It was fun.
Yes.
Got it. And now the next part is the eligibility criteria. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So our vendors must be reputable organizations or professionals in the healthcare or wellness sectors. Presentations must not promote specific products or services unless they provide general health information. So I was speaking with Karen earlier, trying to explain what that really means. So as she, sells Juice Plus, she can't promote the product Juice Plus, but she can promote gut health. So you cannot promote any specific product. It also has to be, it cannot be a product that pretty much every time that somebody wants to do a presentation in our community room, it has to be vetted through our doctors.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's something that's like a questionable, doesn't have a lot of proof behind it, it's probably not going to get approved by the doctors.
Okay.
So just keep that in mind that everything has to be vetted. But as long as it's in line with what we provide and what we offer, because, whenever it's in our community room, we're putting our name on it. So it just has to be in line with Ochsner's, how we practice medicine.
Understood. And does anybody have any questions about the eligibility here before we move on to the next one?
Well, I do want to point out the healthcare and wellness sectors. Wellness is really kind of a broad field in a way. And I'm thinking of like Becky here on the call, who is with Jaja Financial Group, and it's healthy finances. It's teaching people how to have healthy finances. Or we have Kelly Pear, who does travel. And it's not just travel, it's a way that travel nourishes the body, feeds the soul, and reduces stress. So like it is tied to wellness. So I would assume both of those kind of businesses would align and fit in. Is that right? And I would think it would be also interesting for your patients to learn about.
Yes, in fact, those are probably going to be vetted less because they have less to do with actual healthcare. So it's a lot easier for those types of presentations to get approved. If it has anything to do with direct medicine or something that you ingest, that's going to be more strictly vetted by our doctors because that's something that our doctors would have to stand behind as well and recommend to our patients. But yes, like mental health, things of that nature with traveling, that's, pretty easy to get behind. Finances, healthy finances, that's not something that we at Ochsner provide, so it wouldn't be a conflict there of, oh, we don't tell our patients to invest. Like that's not what we do. So it's a different type of field that we're not going to be competing against or have a difference of opinion on.
I have a question because, while I'm in finance, I hold my health license, so I have Medicaid, Medicare background. If I were to put on, say, an ice cream social and let people come in and talk about, Medicare questions, things, how they need to look at their policies when it's up for renewal, things like that, things that are going to put them in a healthier financial position because those costs can go up. would you allow something like that, or do you have parameters because it is insurance that you
Yeah, we
take?
always partner with insurance agents to go over Medicare benefits. We actually typically have about 2 agents a month that come in and present, so the calendar fills up quite fast with agents. During
Awesome.
during AEP, we try to bump it to 3 a month because I know that there's a lot of people that have questions, especially with the policy changes.
Mhm.
We do offer our community room for the ANOC meetings that go on. So if somebody wanted to bring their book of business into the community room and present to their, um, their clients, that's something that we would open up the community room to as well.
Okay. All right. Good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Have any questions about eligibility before we go on?
Connie or Barry, I don't know if either one of you have anything you want to ask.
Like I'm thinking Lindsay Sales, to promote Pure Salt Spa, she could bring in somebody who maybe could teach them chair yoga.
Mm-hmm.
I would absolutely love someone to take over our chair yoga. We do it every single Monday from 10 to 11. I am not qualified, and I've been looking desperately for somebody to take that over because we rely on YouTube videos.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Check with Lindsay because
her.
yeah, I know she's got that. I know she has somebody, she was going to talk about bringing somebody in, or she has somebody that she works with. And she's talking about doing that in her shop. And I wonder if it might not be a good, have you met Lindsay yet, Amanda?
I'm not sure.
I
I'd
don't
have
think
to,
I asked.
I was gonna say, I
Yeah.
recognize the face. The name doesn't ring a bell.
Yeah. I'll reach out to her and let her know about that. I think that would be a nice partnership.
Yes.
And next we're going to go in, that was great. I'm glad you brought that up, Becky.
Well, I just want to make sure Connie or Barry didn't have anything question-wise. You good? Okay.
I think I'm good. I mean,
Okay.
for me, it's just more about, I mean, I wouldn't be selling anything, but it is giving, guiding people through, their cancer journey as to lifestyle changes that they can do, and food and nutrition and exercise and, meditation and things like that. But that, I would think that that would be okay because all of that is in conjunction with, not replacing anything.
I think you do well with that there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would
and
think
I
so
think,
too.
and just a tip, it is the more general or less health related topic that we name the event, the easier it is for it to get approved. So like
Okay.
if you were to talk about meditation and something else, come up with a clever name, and then you talk about that and also talk about other things. It's just a lot easier on my end to get things approved. And I'm so happy to work with anybody part of the chamber to figure out kind of the workaround too of how to get things presented in a way, or how we can present it in a way that I can get that approved, because I'm not the one who makes the final decisions about the presentations. I have to submit that to corporate, and if it has a name that kind of red flags something, they're going to ask questions, want a copy of the presentation, and but I can work with each individual to kind of come up with an event name idea and description that might not flag them needing more information.
Okay, that sounds great. Thank you.
I've got the name for you, Connie. Amanda said meditation. We'll call it meditation and mindset.
There you
That's a
go.
good one. Now, Barry, you could probably, I know you're so knowledgeable about brain health, and I bet you could give a great seminar without talking about, what you actually, the product, because if people get to know you and they connect with you and they reach out to you, then you can tell them about it.
Yeah, and again, I mean, my approach on brain health is very different than what an allopathic doctor is going to talk about.
Mm.
So I I've got to figure out how to make that transition, because most allopathic doctors will say dementia and Alzheimer's is not preventable. And with
Mm.
and the same with cancer, with Connie. I mean, I'm very knowledgeable about cancer and natural ways to reduce the potential of getting cancer. But
Mhm.
that's, swimming upstream against an allopathic doctor that wants to do chemotherapy and radiation. So I don't know how I can, you know, can frame that as a different way of approaching health related conditions or diseases that most people think are not curable and age related, when they change their health style, their health habits, they absolutely are. And I mean, Karen, you know that from dealing with nutrition and juice pots. So yeah, I mean, I'd love to do it, but I don't know how to frame it where the doctors are going to approve it, because I'm swimming upstream against what the Western medicine standard of care is.
Yes.
Amanda, is
And
there any way that you could maybe help facilitate, maybe talk to the doctors? Because I know there are some doctors, Barry, that they're not necessarily saying, yes, we can do this. And because they're a corporation, they have to adhere to certain things, but maybe they could help you um, to direct it in a way, because I think there's a difference between having to toe the corporate line and what some of the doctors, because what I appreciate about Ochsner 65 plus is they have that proactive, preventative,
yes.
idea. And I wonder if there isn't a way that we could find something in the middle, because I think your message is important. And I think there are a lot of people out there that we follow the doctors because insurance tells us. But I think there is a small shift going on. And I wonder if Amanda couldn't help with that.
And I definitely could. And I think, a lot of the people part of the holistic chamber, I feel like it's going to be case by case. And I think it's best if, and I'm happy to provide my contact information. You can reach out one-on-one, because I can actually set up a meeting, with the doctor, so you can come in and kind of get an idea of an understanding, because we do have a DO on staff who's more holistic. So I can absolutely get you in contact with him. And then, if you want to bring ice cream and call it an ice cream social and you discuss brain health, I'm just saying there's ways around it, and I'm happy to talk with you one-on-one to kind of get an idea of how we can make it successful for you, and bring people in, and you know what I mean? So absolutely. If anybody has any those specific questions, I'm happy to talk one-on-one with them.
Right.
Let's talk about that. And I have to chuckle, because every spoon of ice cream you take puts you a step closer. That's a spoonful closer to dementia because of the sugar.
Right.
Okay, so maybe not
Pick
ice cream.
another one.
Yeah.
We'll pick something different.
Well, we could do that. We could
Go
do
with
that.
bingo. Play bingo and have the game be around brain health
Or
topic.
I can tell you, they love trivia. And that's
Oh, trivia.
I will say this. This is another really, really, really good workaround, is do a trivia presentation around your topic.
Mm,
Yeah.
there you
That's a
go.
great one.
Yeah.
And it makes it fun anyhow, just like
But
really.
we could do ice cream and let them know that is contributing to memory loss as they get older, So
I like the trivia idea.
yeah,
I do too.
The trivia is good.
Barry, you could make it nice cream.
Nice.
Oh, there you go.
Yay!
No,
Actually,
like,
maybe we could come up
because
with
there's recipes that are like non-dairy, no sugar, it's just fruit
yeah,
and so on. You could do it like that.
exactly.
And I enjoy-
Non-dairy, it'd take a little work, but a non-dairy ketogenic ice cream.
You'd be amazed what's out there. I've seen them. They're really good.
I do
yeah.
have a keto ice cream in my freezer, but I don't think it's non-dairy.
I mean,
Sorry,
non-dairy is not as essential as
The sugar.
non-sugar.
That's sugar.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So anyhow, let's
All right.
brainstorm that individually with Amanda.
Barry,
But Really great ideas, though, for how we can make it fun. It makes it fun for us as well, right? Delivering it, but making it fun and also imparting knowledge to people. And then hopefully, like Connie said, developing something where they want to reach out to you, even outside of Ochsner.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's when they can learn more about products or services or whatever.
Well, speaking of
Correct.
brain health, did we already review the approval process?
No, we're
We
going
did.
there now.
No, so
Barry.
vendors must submit a formal request outlining the presentation topic, target. I typically like to ask 6 weeks in advance because that's when I have to submit my calendars for the following month. So, and I say formal request, that would just be emailing me, going over the topic, the presentation. If you don't have your presentation completed at that time, it's fine. I do have to review it before your presentation day, but as long as you give me a pretty good outline of the presentation material, then I can go ahead and get that approved and put it on the calendar. All requests will be reviewed by the community relations specialist to ensure alignment with facility goals. So of course that includes me as well as my supervisor who is the tough one. So like I said, I can always help you figure out a way that we can present as long as the material aligns, with our clinic and our audience, then we can find a way to make it work. I mean, obviously, if it's something that's totally off base of what our clinic stands for, it's going to be tricky. But if it's something that's going to benefit the community, it's going to benefit our patients, then I always find a way to make it happen.
And I think you've really gotten to all this earlier in a way, except for the 6 weeks, letting people know that you need to be basically contacted at least 6 weeks in advance of the event.
And the reason for that is because I have to submit our calendar to
Mhm.
our distribution team so that they can send out those mailers. Because if I don't have that submitted to them, then I mean, I could add something to the calendar, but it's not going to get submitted and
Just
promoted to the community. So that's really where that deadline comes in is I have to have it submitted 6 weeks in advance. So, and if it's last minute and you're like, I really wanted to try to get on, I can always look at availability for the next month. So we can, and I usually have a few spots each month to put different people in.
Okay. Anybody got any questions about this?
I may have not heard it. Amanda, what's the lead time between sending you some information and the actual date that we would be doing something?
So what I typically ask is when are you looking to do an event? And you give me a date and then I'll let you know when I need all the materials by. So
Okay.
if somebody's looking to do something in September, I would probably need those materials no later than next week because I have to submit my stuff the following Monday. So if you're looking to do something in October, then I would say, okay, as long as you get it to me by September or August.
So do you need like a 4 week lead time, 6 weeks, 8 weeks?
I asked for 6 weeks, so I have
6
time to
weeks.
review
Okay.
it so that I can
Okay.
make sure I get my stuff submitted in a timely manner.
Okay. I see. Okay. I see it. 6 weeks.
And
Okay.
how often is it a daily thing that the room is available? Is it like once a week? Do you have an idea?
I typically book between 2 to 3 events in a week.
Okay.
Some of those events are reoccurring each month, so I already know that those certain days are blocked off. For instance, we have a Meet the Provider event every single first Wednesday of the month, and that's reoccurring. So there's certain things that I can't move. Others are flexible. Like we always have Get Moving Monday from 10 to 11 every single Monday. That's just a given. So,
Okay.
and to that point, there's certain events that occur monthly but are not on specific dates. So I mentioned the Crafty Creations. That is something I always do every month. And I just kind of come up with different crafts. If there's ever, somebody that can come up with a very creative craft that might pertain to their certain topic, then you can sponsor it. You don't really pay money to sponsor it, but in terms of like you're the one actually coming in and presenting and getting to do the craft, and it's more interactive with our patients, and then you get to have more of those one-on-one conversations with them as you're doing the craft. I have a lot of people do that each month, try to sponsor that one. But there's other reoccurring events that go on each month that people like to kind of jump in on and sponsor so that they can make it their own, such as trivia. That's a big one that I try to do that once a month or every other month if I can, and people like the different topics, and we usually have a good turnout for that.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions about the approval process? Thank you. Thank you for explaining that. Looks like content guidelines goes into 2 pages.
Yes, it
Do
does.
you want to talk about that, Amanda?
Yep, so we just ask that anything that's presented is evidence-based and accurate and up to date. We do not allow any direct sales or solicitation. So if there's a certain product that you are promoting, we ask that you do not mention the product or that you are a representative of that product, because we cannot promote sales within our clinic. Any materials that are handed out during the presentation must be approved. So those also have to be submitted with the presentation 6 weeks in advance, because that's also something that we look at to get approved, that, so we make sure that our patients are receiving the accurate information, and we're not, signing our name on something that we might not agree with.
Okay. Anybody have any questions about presentations? Oh, can people use the computer screen, obviously, to?
Yes, so we have the computer screen there. We have a computer that you're able to use, or if you'd like to use your own computer, we have an HDMI hookup that is available for everybody.
Okay, and then with regard to that, like music, if someone wanted to add music into their presentation, is that possible?
Absolutely.
Sounds okay. Okay. Any questions, anyone?
Is that question, Katerina, about the music because of the licensing of music? Like the person has to make sure they're using licensed music to be.
I don't know, Amanda, is that a concern for you, whether they're using licensed music?
Okay.
Not for me.
It's
Okay.
for me,
Usually-
it's more like using 2 modalities, like, when
Yeah.
people use multiple modalities.
We usually always put on like a YouTube video before, presentations that has background music, just to kind of set the tone for each event. So that's not a problem.
Okay.
Got it. Any questions, anyone, about content guidelines?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Now, next section is scheduling and availability. You touched on this, but now we're getting into more details here.
Yeah, so the community room is available for use Monday through Friday between 9 and 4. I know it says 9 to 4, and you're like, but we meet earlier than that. There's exceptions, of course, for certain groups. But if it's a single presenter, we like to keep it between 9 and 4, so that, and to be honest, the turnout is, you're not going to get people there at 8 a.m. anyways. But the vendor should be aware of any existing events. That, of course, is my job to make sure that you're not scheduling on top of somebody else. If the presentation is booked during the lunch hour from 12 to 1, it is expected that they provide lunch, because that's when we offer our lunch and learn sessions. So typically, like we have a Medicare, Becky, you were kind of speaking to this. We always have a Medicare 101 presentation set on the calendar every single month. The agent always provides lunch for people, and that usually kind of draws a bigger crowd. Of course, it is not required whatsoever that you need to provide lunch. And if you don't want to do it, then it just needs to be scheduled outside that 12 to 1 hour.
Okay.
Okay. Anyone have any questions about this section?
And I will mention too, if there's ever a lunch and learn, certain events we require an RSVP for, certain ones we do not. If it's an RSVP event, such as food or materials that you need to account for, then we'll provide you with that number a couple days prior.
Okay, that's a great point.
Amanda, what's the best time to attract the largest
Great question.
Audrey?
That is a good
That is a
question.
good question.
So,
That is a really good question, and I
Anybody
wish
else?
someone could answer it for me because I found that really tough. I think depending on the event, one of our most well-attended events is our Get Moving Mondays, the chair yoga, and that's from 10 to 11 every Monday. It's a lot of repeat people that come, and that seems to always draw a bigger crowd of about 10 people. However, the other two time slots I feel that typically, and I say typically because I can't guarantee the attendance, is the lunch hour, depending on the topic, and then anywhere between 1 and 3. I found that 1 and 3 time slot typically works best. And I usually schedule my bigger events around that, like crafty creations I always do from 1 to 2. Bingo I usually do from 2 to 3 on whatever day I do it on, and it usually has a better turnout.
Interesting.
Now, day,
Okay.
can't answer that. Everybody has something going on every day, but I try to avoid Fridays if I can, just because I feel like people don't always show up. And then Mondays is a no-go anyways, because we already have the Get Moving Monday scheduled.
Yeah.
So that kind of leaves, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And of course,
Thursday.
and we can schedule on a Friday. I'm not saying don't do that, but definitely leading into a holiday weekend, usually the crowd's not going to show up.
Sure, sure. I mean, I did a lunch and learn on a Thursday after our holistic chamber met there, and there were 4 Ochsner employees, no one from outside. Yeah, I think that's why I asked about the time.
Yeah, and like I mentioned, we were not doing the mailing advertisements at that time either, so that's going to really affect and hopefully start bringing in more people now that we're sending out those mailers each month.
Yeah. So, and my topic, I spoke about stem cells. Maybe brain health and avoiding dementia and memory loss would be more popular.
Probably.
And it very well could be. And I'll tell you, we have 4 Ochsner Novant 65 plus locations, and I'm the only one that struggles to get people through the door with events. And the biggest thing is because we're located in a more affluent area right next to Sun City where people have endless activities to do.
Yeah.
Where the other Ochsner Novant 65 plus locations are in more, in areas where people don't have other options. They're targeted to a lower income.
Yeah.
And so, they have their community rooms full every time they do a presentation. And me, I'm like, oh, I'm lucky if like 4 people come, depending on, what it is, because being right next to Sun City, people are busy.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. I was in San Diego for over 40 years, and San Diego, other than now the Padres, the baseball team, could never get good attendance at professional sports games. And it's because there's so much to do in San Diego. I mean, any day of the year, you could go to the mountains or the desert or the beach or find a festival. And so, yeah, competing activities make a huge difference in events. Yeah.
And that's why I say the more interactive and creative the event is, the better turnout. Sun City is flooded with educational presentations all the time.
Right.
And that being said, they can go and get those in their backyard. So that's why I try to stay away from the strict just presentations, just because I don't want our presenters to be disappointed with the low attendance. So I always suggest coming up with like a more interactive idea that still they can incorporate what they want to say, is the best way to draw a bigger crowd.
I do have to tell you, Amanda, somebody posted in one of the Facebook groups recently, like, hey, Sun City doesn't allow bingo. Where can we find bingo? And like 3 people said Ochsner. And I was like, yes, Ochsner.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So maybe finding what Sun City doesn't provide is the trick, because,
Yeah, that's
or
true.
even Margaritaville, I would think.
That's,
Well, we share all of our, in fact, Gianna, my counterpart, her grandma lives in Sun City. And so every time we post, she always posts it in the Sun City Facebook group. So
Right.
we get a lot of responses from there too. So I'm hoping that people see the different events that we offer and don't think we're trying to duplicate what they're doing over there, but we try to be as creative as possible.
Uh,
okay. And then number 6 is conduct during presentations.
Yep. So, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. Vendors are expected to conduct themselves professionally and respectfully, adhere to all facility policies, including those related to patient privacy and confidentiality. I mean, and I say facility policies, I mean, no smoking, no tobacco use, things like that. And then, of course, if sometimes as some of our presenters might share a common patient, it's just, expected that you don't talk about that common patient in a open setting because it is confidential. So if there's ever a conflict like that, then we would just ask that you go speak privately. But that's really all that is.
mhm.
Any questions about conduct?
Pretty straightforward.
I think it's pretty obvious, yeah.
I don't think you're going to have an issue with that with any of you guys.
No one's going to be offering Jello shots.
I mean, I would come to that though. So
Pardon?
I said I would come to that.
After.
Yeah.
Feedback and evaluation. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, after the presentation, feedback may be collected from attendees to assess the value and appropriateness of the session. Vendors may be required to submit a brief report summarizing the presentation and feedback they received. I have really never required anybody to submit a report. If anything, that's if the presentation like offended someone or, something of that nature, but I've never had that happen. We do have the feedback QR codes in our community room so patients are able to give feedback on presentations. And so if we do receive feedback from our patients, then of course we share that with the vendor.
Got it. Any questions about this?
No?
No, I think that's the last one, the cancellation policy.
Mhm.
We do have, and I've become more strict on this because we've had people cancel and then patients still show up for something because it was canceled last minute and I can't always undo it because if patients don't answer their phone and I can't get a hold of them to let them know it's canceled. Basically once the presentation is put on the calendar, it's really preferred that you do not cancel. But if any unforeseen circumstances come up, we really need 48 hours advance to be able to send out notifications to the people who have RSVP'd to let them know that the event is not going to be taking place. If this happens once, then we have to question whether or not we let the vendor rebook. Of course, there's always some circumstances that cannot be avoided. I mean, we have grace if the person's in the hospital or something tragic happened. Of course, we're not going to say, no, you can never come back in our community room. That's not the purpose of this. But if, it was on the vendor and they just didn't communicate properly and they're not reliable, then at that point we would not let them rebook in the community room.
Makes sense.
Guidelines. Anybody else have any questions that maybe we didn't touch on the topic, but you want to know a little bit more about?
No, I think you did a great job covering it all and explaining it even more than what we're reading, obviously.
Yeah.
It was great that you added to, the explanation of it. So thank you, Amanda.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, I'm happy to chat one-on-one with anybody that has specific questions pertaining to their business or topics that they might want to discuss. Karen, you're welcome to send my information out to anybody that asks for
I
it.
will.
So
I'll send that out. I'm going to send the guidelines out, the recording, everything. So I will put your
perfect.
information in there. And I really do encourage people to reach out to you because I know that you will do your best to creatively come up with a way to make it work for both sides. So I hope that everyone on this call, but anyone listening to this call will take advantage of that with you.
Absolutely.
I just want to add to that. I've had the experience. I've had the pleasure of hosting an event there. I didn't have anything that was really a scene grabber, and because what I have to talk about isn't really things people love to do, my attendance wasn't that great. But I did not hold I didn't hold the Ochsner responsible for that at all. And my experience with working with Amanda was wonderful. So I really encourage anybody who's thinking about it. It's a really great place to start. If you've never done it before, Amanda makes the process nice and seamless and easy.
Thank you. And a lot of people too, I mean, we of course always advertise on our Facebook page, and we always advertise via email. Like I mentioned, starting August, we'll be sending out the mailers. But if anybody wants to advertise those personally, like on their Facebook or something like that, I can send you the post that we send out so that you're able to share it. And kind of invite some of the people that as well to encourage more participation. So
Absolutely.
Do you want to share your contact information, just like your email right now, so people have it? And
absolutely. Yeah, so my email is amanda.brown2, the number 2, at ochsner.org. And that's OCHSNER.
Very nice. Thank you, Amanda.
You're welcome.
All right. Well, if there aren't any last questions for Amanda, I really thank you for your time. Are we good,
Yeah,
Connie
absolutely.
or Barry? Anything you want to add? Questions? Okay.
I'm good.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Totally appreciate it. I mean, I'm excited because you really have given me like even some, creative ways to think about doing some things. And so I'm like, oh, that could work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, as long as we can, here's another thing that I always believe, if people do things consistently enough and people see us consistently enough, they will want to know more about us. They will reach out to us. We will connect with them, and everything that we care about, sharing with people will eventually make its way to them. So we don't have to like try to force it into one event that we're doing
Right.
at Ochsner. And
Yes.
so, I do want to ask you, like we can also promote it. When I say we, like if I'm going to do an event and I want to push it out in different directions and I can invite
Absolutely.
people to it. I'm thinking of my workshop that I did for the sourdough. There was a link for registering. I don't know if you're still using like a registration link. But then people were calling the front desk too and saying they were coming. So there was that's where we ended up with the 17 people because some people were not going through the registration link. So like if there is a registration link or a way for people to truly RSVP, like making sure that we have that so we can also push that out to people.
Yes. I would just encourage you to follow our Facebook page at Ochsner Okatee, because then you can share the post that we're sending out with the registration link. And I can even get that to you prior to us posting it if you need it.
Okay.
And then as far as the kink with the calling the front desk and all that, it has been ironed out.
Good. I would think so.
Yes.
Okay. Awesome. Well, great topic. You went 50 minutes. We never know how long our calls are going to go, but it is a great topic, and I really hope.
I just liked your page, and there's Karen right there.
Oh.
That's too funny.
So,
All right. Thank you so much, Amanda, again. Great
Absolutely.
information.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Amanda. Appreciate it.
Amanda.
Okay.
No
have a
problem.
great evening.
Bye.